You can get it. Marvelous.
Yo, what's good? Welcome back to the channel, y'all. And look. Delinquents, we got them.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got them.
We fucking got them.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, the Sim team actually just came out with a brand new weekly meta report from the high players. But before we talk about that, let's go ahead and show you guys what they typically post in their Discord. It's really just weekly power rankings. I mean, they've been doing this pretty much the whole entire year with this sim, weekly power rankings. Not once have they ever introduced a ranking system for high ladder players, and ever since our video came out and we packed them up, look at what they just added. Wow. Look at what they look at this OP08 high rank player meta report, and they even added best deck list just like our video. Hey yo, you cannot make this up. YGOD, Yellow Gang Die, Delinquent stand up, Hey, look, just say we got the sauce over here. That's all you gotta say. If you banging with us over here, just say the people over here, we got the sauce. We know what the hell we talking about. They ended up going back 2 or 3 days later, making a brand new list for OP08 high rank player meta and best deck list, just like our last video. You guys see it right here. Okay, this is the actual ranking from the top players. As you can see, Zoro, it was never one. Okay, Zoro was never one. You definitely just lied. But an interesting take we have to say from this is that the list I made is pretty similar to their list. The only difference that they do have was this starter deck Luffy right here. People actually aren't opting to play it, which is crazy because I would think, you know, people will really play it since Rob Lucci is pretty much the top deck when it comes to high players. But pudding is right. Like all these other decks that we did end up ranking are pretty much the same. Only difference is probably Bonnie and Luffy. But yeah, man, we have the proper ranking from the high players, bro. We actually did it. We did it, y'all. We did it. If you're part of Flockoville or Delinquent, we did it. So what we're gonna do now is that we're gonna actually just click this meta report. So now we actually have the full statistics of the top players, which is crazy. They've never done this before until we made that video. They have the leader breakdown, and they actually have sections to where they talk about each, and they even showed the deck and the cards like our video. That's crazy. That is crazy. And I'm not doing no unnecessary glazing. I'm just saying this is the same exact format I did in the video. This is crazy. They even have the deck list with better deck lists. They even have pictures. Oh, we have to go over this. Let's go ahead and just go straight over this real quick. Let's just go ahead and increase this size here just so we can see the cards. Okay, so now let's officially go over this. We have the OP08 weekly power rankings. We're gonna go briefly over them, but since these, you know, partial sections are here to where we can talk about, we're just gonna go over it. But we'll just briefly go over these. Rob Lucci, not really surprised that this is the #1 deck. People are most comfortable with this deck, and just looking at the, you know, pretty much the high ladder for these players, it seems like people are more opting out for Rob Lucci. Not really too surprised. Some type of black deck is going to be the best deck. The deck that actually threw me by surprise is OP5 Luffy. OP5 Luffy wasn't even on the list. So the fact that they actually adjusted the list, mind you, OP05 Luffy wasn't even on the fucking list. Now it's second. That just tells you, okay, that last list, if you guys are the sim team, you guys are watching this, don't ever use those rankings ever again, because it's crazy how OP08 Luffy is the second best deck when it comes to top ranking ladder players, and then in the other list you guys did have, OP08 Luffy was nowhere to be seen. I mean, at this point, OP08 Luffy was probably, I don't know, a tier 18 deck. We don't know, it wasn't on the list. So the fact that it's even on the list is crazy. Second best deck as well, with a 52% win rate, is actually really crazy. Next deck we have is Zoro. I'm still surprised that it's even up this high, and it's actually in front of Monkey D. Luffy, but hey, you know, it is what it is. It has a 51% win rate among high ladder players, and like I said, I ranked it at 4, they ranked it at 3, so clearly I know, look, we know what we talk about. The main deck we're actually surprised about is this Monkey D. Luffy. This Monkey D. Luffy, I still think it's a little bit higher because it does counter Rob Lucci, but if these other two decks are really showing a lot of prevalence in the meta, I can see why it's at 4. But you know, I'm okay with it being number 4 as long as it's not fucking 10. That was the biggest joke of the year. Okay, next deck we have is Jewelry Bonnie. I think I put Jewelry Bonnie at number 8. So number 5, okay, cool. This is the higher players that we're talking about. Only reason why I placed it 5, because you just didn't really see it that often. I think it's because Black just blew up everything, especially since Jack and everything else got added to all the Black decks. I just didn't really see Bonnie just at my locals or high scale tournament results. Okay, so at 5, that's fine. Next deck we have right here is this ST14 Monkey D. Luffy. Now, this is the deck I'm actually very surprised about, to be honest with you guys. Just to keep it a stack, with Rob Lucci being number 1, I for sure thought that this is going to be a top 3 deck. The fact that it's at 6, I don't know why people aren't opting out to play Monkey D. Luffy. Yeah, when the starter decks do end up coming out, Monkey D. Luffy, ST14 Monkey D. Luffy does take a back seat, but since the best deck in the format right now is Rob Lucci, I'm actually very surprised at how far back this version of Monkey D. Luffy is. Katakuri is at number 7. I think I actually did put Katakuri at number 7. I actually did put Katakuri at number 7, so no reason to talk about this. Nami at number 8. I'm actually very happy Nami's at number 8 because I actually hate that deck. Calgara at number 9. Well, I put Calgara at number 10, so 9 and 10 is almost the same thing, and I actually put Pudding at number 9 as well. So the fact it's at number 10, it looks like I actually know what we're talking. It looks like the gang. No, it's not me. It's really the gang, okay? Floccoville, shout out to Floccoville, shout out to all the delinquents, YGLD. It pretty much makes it look like we actually know what we're talking about over here in the streets, okay? So this is the updated power ranking for the high ladders, and they even added better deck lists. Let's look at the matchups here. The matchups, I'm pretty sure that matchups are pretty much all the same compared to what we saw last time. If you guys really want to go over this, we're not going to sit here and really go over this because there's way too many decks. If you guys do want to go over it, you guys can go over it right here. With access to high rank only game data, we've divided deep into the latest trends shaking up the One Piece card game meta. Several decks are standing out for the strong performance and strategic advantages. Let's explore why these decks are excelling and how they are influencing the competitive scene. So pretty much, our video made y'all do this. Okay, that's what that pretty much means, because before, I'm telling you right now, if we did not make our video, this would not be possible. This would not be possible. If we did not make our initial top 10 best decks of the format video, this is definitely would have never been possible. Okay, so, you know, come, like I said, make sure you tap in, you know, become a delinquent. Okay, you guys already know what we're doing over here. So what we could do is that we could just skim through every single one of these. Actually, we'll just go over every single one, because this is history in the making right now, because the sim team has never went back and done this 2 days later. They must have really looked at the fucking tier list. They say, yeah, this ain't it, chief. So let's go ahead and go straight into it. OP07 Rob Lucci, the unstoppable force. Rob Lucci continues to be a dominant presence in the meta, consistently outperforming most other decks, which is facts. His deck boosts highly favorable matchups against a wide range of opponents, make him a top pick for competitive players. Even when facing tougher adversaries, the sheer power of his core cards often turns the tide, and that's just because Black has some of the best cards in the game right now. That changes in OP09. OP09, purple just becomes absolutely crazy, and Blue Dofi. I think Blue Dofi is his own type of entity, because that structure that actually pushes it to a whole different level. But as a whole, when it comes to card pull based cards, The black pool base of cards, as the time of speaking and recording right now, is the best set of cards out in the game, so it makes sense why Lucci's still good. Lucci's strength lies in his ability to control the game and apply relentless pressure. His strategies keep opponents on the defense, preventing them from executing their game plans effectively, pretty much popping everything on the field. If you're aiming to climb the ranks, Lucci's deck remains a formidable option that's hard to beat. So Lucci, very strong deck. If you guys can see, they even added actual cards like our actual video with the win rate in the games played. Very good on the sim team, very good on the sim team, copying our initial format. But hey, as long as you get the data out properly, that's what you need to do. I don't care if you copy or not. So this is the Rob Lucci fucking deck here. If you guys want to take a look at it, take it. And these are also better deck lists like they stated earlier. So the next deck I want to talk about is OP05 Purple Luffy. Now this Purple Luffy, like I said earlier, wasn't even on the tier list, gang. It wasn't even on the tier list at all. So the fact that they went back in and actually corrected this and added this as the second best deck, I'm glad you guys went in and made this change, because I told y'all that was a bullshit ass list that you guys had. Fact, not an opinion. But let's go ahead and go straight into it. OP05 Purple list, a resurgent contender. Purple Luffy has made a significant comeback this week. Are you sure about that? Because before we had Zoro #1. I feel like Purple Luffy was probably always here. You guys were just, I don't know what the hell you guys were doing. The power of Magellan has been a game changer, offering a consistent and straightforward playstyle that helps players stay ahead. Magellan slows down opponents, providing a tempo advantage that's tough for opponents to match. Very true. I feel like Magellan is the staple to this purple deck until OP09 does come around. Magellan, like I said earlier, is a very strong card. I don't think it should get banned. I feel like that's a very good card in my opinion. I feel like it's a staple on purple decks. However, it's worth watching whether Purple Luffy can maintain this momentum. Some speculate that his recent success may be partly due to opponents not knowing how to counter his strategies effectively. If you guys don't know how to play against Purple Luffy, card at the top, pretty much thumbnail on the screen. I actually made a video on how to beat this deck, so make sure you tap in if you guys don't know how to beat this deck, because apparently they think opponents don't know how to play it. So if you guys do not know how to play against this deck, card at the top and the thumbnail was on the screen, so make sure you tap in. As players become more familiar with Purple Luffy's deck, we'll see if he can solidify his position in the meta or if he'll face new challenges as counter strategies. I'm gonna tell you right now, Purple Luffy is probably going to be a top 5 deck once these structure decks come out. I feel like once these structure decks come out, I feel like Luffy is still going to be up there. It's still going to be a top 5 deck. So, you know, it might fall off right now, but once those structure decks come out within 3 or 4 weeks, this deck is going to be a top 5 deck. Fact, not an opinion, because it gets so much support from its particular structure deck that it is getting. Here's the deck list that they do have, the better deck list that they do have. We're at 55 games, 65 win percent. That's actually extremely high. But like I said earlier, if you guys don't know how to play against this particular deck, you know, look on the channel, y'all. I have a video on that. Next deck we're going to be talking about ST14 Black Luffy, the emerging challenger. Black Luffy is performing impressively on the ladder. His literary ability combined with the value from black cards like Ekamori and Rebecca creates a solid deck that's catching many opponents off guard. As the meta evolves and more players become familiar with Black Luffy's tactics, it will be interesting to see if he can maintain his strong performance or if adjustments will be necessary. For now, he's a strong choice for players looking to shake up the competition. I feel like Black Luffy is going to be good until the structure decks release. You guys, if you guys are looking to invest into a deck, only play this deck on the sim, because once the structure decks come out, this deck's going to really take a back seat. This deck is really only good if it is a black dominated meta, and right now it is a black dominated meta. Okay, here are the deck lists. Here's a better deck list. It has a 71% win rate, so that's actually, I think that actually might be the highest one. Yeah, it has a 71% win rate. So a lot of people don't know how to play against this deck. So since a lot of people don't know how to play against this deck, I'll be making a how to beat video on this deck probably next week, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But just all in all, if I have to just be honest with you, this deck doesn't really have too many counters. It only gets countered if other decks are in the meta, to be honest with you. And since Rob Lucci is the #1 deck in the meta, this particular deck is always going to be here as long as there's a black leader as the best deck. But 71 win percent is actually impressive. Let's go over OP03 Katakuri, the steady performer. Katakuri remains a reliable option, even though he's seen a slight drop in the percentage due to the rise of black decks. He tends to struggle against decks with wide boards and sabo blockers, which have become more common. No, that's also true, but what you also forgot to add, the sim team, is that Katakuri really does struggle with board removal. You guys really see in his deck list right now, they have no form of protection. And if Lucci or ST14 Luffy really get going, they can really just keep popping this big bomb over and over again. Yellow really struggles with ball removal. They should have added that, but I'll add it for them. Despite these challenges, Katakuri's straightforward gameplay and powerful trigger effects could still swing games in his favor. Fact, his consistency is executing his strategy, keeping him competitive. If you prefer a simple yet effective approach, Katakuri is still a solid deck. I was actually wrong about this deck, and that's the thing too. When I'm wrong, I'll tell y'all motherfuckers I was wrong. I actually put Pudding in front of Katakuri. That was wrong. I don't know what I was smoking at the time. Okay, might have been high off life, but Katakuri is a better deck than Pudding. It is the best yellow deck in the game right now, and this is also a better list for the Katakuri players. So if you guys are a Katakuri player fan, this is the list. Okay, so now let's get into the best deck that I honestly still think is the best deck. Black and Yellow Luffy, the well-positioned contender. Black and Yellow Luffy is performing at a high level and is well-positioned in the current meta. His deck performs particularly well against other black decks. With that been increasing in popularity, the rise of decks like Lucci and Black Luffy has inadvertently boosted Black and Yellow's Luffy's effectiveness as he can counter these strategies efficiently. We expect Black and Yellow Luffy to continue performing strongly as long as these trends persist. Yeah, and like I said earlier, Black and Yellow Luffy does really well if there's really a black meta. In my opinion, I still feel like Black and Yellow Luffy is still the best deck in the game. Like when I'm playing Black and Yellow Luffy, when I'm actually playing against a lot of sweat players, I don't really struggle. Only other deck I really struggle against is probably Bonnie. And that's if they see what's it called, the 9-cost Zoro. But let's go ahead and just look at the deck list. Everything still looks the same. They are running the 4. I'm a big fan of the 4. They are running the 2 like I had. They do have the 2 Makino like I had. Everything is pretty much the same. The only thing that's different is this Kuzan. When you guys do tech in this Kuzan, it's really just for one matchup. I'm not really a fan of the Kuzan, but like I said, these 2 cards right here, the Kuzan and pretty much both of these Kuzan, it's pretty much flex spots. You guys can really have whatever you want. You guys can really have the 4 Borsalinos and then cut these and put like, you know, maybe 2 more aces, or you can really just do a 2-2 split like what I do. I'd have 2 Kuzan, 2 Ice Age, and 2 Finger Gun. You guys can, I mean, like I said, these 2 right here are really just flex box depending on what you guys really want to use, but a majority of this list looks like the list that I showed you guys in our video on the channel. Sim team, you guys are doing great work here. Okay, listen to Flockoville and Delinquents over here, bro. We always on some game shit, and we know what the streets is talking about, bro. Let's fact that opinion. Very good, decent list, and I love the fact that they actually put this here with how well BY Luffy is doing. It's not a 10th best deck, which is actually insane. OP08 Zoro adapting to the meta. Zoro has experienced a slight dip in his win rate. I don't think Zoro ever experienced a slight dip in its win rate. Mind you that you guys did end up making this list 3 or 4 days later from the date of publishing. Okay, this list became active September 26th, and I think you guys initially posted your random tier list before, or top decks before, like 3 or 4 days later. So pretty much telling everybody Zoro has experienced a slight dip in his win rate. I feel like you guys are, you know, pretty much deceiving everybody. Zoro was never top ranked. I don't know where you guys are getting this from. I actually don't know where you guys are getting this from. Zoro was never top ranked. It never received any slight dip in his win rate. You guys just don't want to say you're fucking wrong. You guys don't want to say you're wrong and say, hey, we're wrong. Zoro's really never really #1. Okay. I mean, I get it. You guys don't want to admit you're wrong. I got it. I mean, I get it. Zoro's experienced a slight dip in his win rate due to the resurgence of black decks at higher ranks. Although he continues to perform well overall, he's facing difficulties against removal heavy decks like Lucci and Black Luffy. Wow. I swore I said that. I swore I said that in the video. So like this deck is really solid, but if we're talking about a 8 to 10 round type of tournament, I put this at the 4th best deck. I mean, as long as there's black in the meta, especially how heavy it is right now, this will never be the best deck in the format. This is the 4th best deck in the format. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did say that. That's what I said. I just had to get a flashback real quick, which can disrupt his aggressive play style Zoro's ability to apply pressure is still a significant threat, but he may need some adjustments to remain competitive in the current meta. Okay, like I said earlier, as long as there's some crazy black decks in the meta, Zoro will never be #1, which was crazy because Zoro was #1. I just didn't understand the whole entire logic behind that. Stop getting casual rankings. Nobody cares about casual rankings. So this is the real ranking. Zoro, very good deck though. Like I said, I talk a lot of shit about Zoro. I mean, Zoro is pretty much the new Nami. Actually, no, it's not, because Nami makes me go to sleep. But you know, I just, like I said, I just like talking shit. Let's be real. I just like talking shit. We talk shit over here like we're in high school at the lunch tables. Zoro list right here, 60 win %, 65 games, very good deck list. Nothing else to pretty much talk about. How many more decks do we have? We actually have a little bit more decks. It's taking longer than usual because I'm just literally talking shit at the moment. So let's go ahead and continue. OP07 Green Bonnie, the consistent powerhouse. Green Bonnie has solidified her position as a powerhouse in the current meta. Her deck offers a blend of versatility and strength that appeals to many players. One of the key factors contributing to her consistent win rate is her strong performance against popular decks like Black and Yellow Luffy. Don't bring me up like this. Please don't do it. Don't do it. Yes, you're letting everybody know that's our weakest matchup. Thanks, and team, thanks. As BY Luffy continues to see play, Green Bonnie remains a reliable counter, leveraging her abilities to control the board and out-remove her opponents. The deck excels in resource management and card advantage, allowing players to adapt to various matchups effectively. The synergy between her cards enables strategic play that can disrupt the opponent's plans while advancing her own. For players seeking a deck with strong balance of offense and defense, Green Bonnie is an excellent choice that's proving its worth in high level play. So pretty much, if you want to beat Black Yellow Luffy, play Bonnie. That's what pretty much all this means. Okay, Bonnie, looks like a very decent list. This actually kind of looks like the same exact list that I had. Only difference is probably this Luffy, but 68 win %. Bonnie is going to be good. I feel like it is the best green deck. If you guys are a green fan, this is something that you guys probably want to really, you know, dive into and, you know, probably explore, to be honest with you guys. Next deck we have is Calgera. OP08 Calgera, the aggressive contender. Calgera is making waves as a viable option for those who prefer an aggressive playstyle, despite having some unfavorable matchup, most notably against Green Bonnie. Calgera's deck compensates with raw power and the ability to consistently deploy threats. This aggression can overwhelm opponents before they have a chance to stabilize, putting constant pressure on their defenses. Like I said earlier, this is a glass cannon type of deck. It aggroes, but once it runs out of steam, you pretty much lose. The strength of Calgera's deck lies in its straightforward strategy: hit hard and fast. Players who enjoy dictating the pace of the game and forcing opponents into reactive positions will find Calgera's approach rewarding. His ability to apply early pressure can create openings that lead to quick victories, making him a compelling choice in the current meta. So this is the Calgera deck list. The only difference is, well, they do have Eldor. Okay, yeah, this deck looks pretty solid. I don't know about this Katakuri. Katakuri looks pretty trash. If you're going to run Katakuri, I'd rather just run the extra ace, to be honest with you. That's the only thing I'll probably save for the change. Probably cut this Katakuri and put another ace there. And yeah, man, that's pretty much it. Calgera, very, very shiesty. OP08 Pudding, the persistent challenger. Pudding remains a deck that can be overlooked as the meta progresses. While her win rate has seen a slight dip recently, this is largely due to players becoming more familiar with her strategy and learning to play more aggressively against her. Despite this, Pudding continues to be popular and effective thanks to her unique mechanics. No, there was never a dip in popularity or win rate. This was always her win rate. Okay, this was always her win rate. And they don't want to admit that their ranking was wrong again. I get it. But there was never a dip in their win rate. That was always the win rate. Okay, that was always the win rate. Okay, fact, that opinion. Like I said earlier, Pudding loses the aggro. And from what I've been seeing, Black, because Black's been popping anything that's 10 costs or lower, mainly Lucci and Luffy. From what I've been seeing, Black pretty much packs up this deck. That's the reason why it has such a low win percentage out of 136 games. But I just got to keep it a stack with you guys. We did it. We actually did it. We made the sim team fold and come out with a brand new list within 3 weeks. It wasn't even a week. We just made them fold. Okay, so let's go over to the conclusion. And yeah, I'll send you guys off on your way. Conclusion: the One Piece card game meta is consistently evolving, with decks like Rob Luffy maintaining dominance and others like Purple Luffy and Black Luffy rising in popularity. Purple Luffy and Black Luffy has probably always been there. You guys just had a bad ranking system. The challenges faced by decks like Katakuri and Zoro highlight the need for adaptability in response to shifting trends. As we continue to analyze high-ranked games and gather more insights, staying informed will be crucial for players looking to succeed. Whether you're refining your current deck or exploring new strategies, understanding the current meta is essential for making strategic decisions. Well, if this is the most important thing, make sure you guys always have this proper ranking system now. Because before, you guys are told everybody Zoro was the best deck. So, you know, stay tuned, more updates, good luck in your matches. So if you guys do want the deck list of all the decks, here they are right here. And they actually made a change because in Reddit, they actually had it to where each one of these deck lists were side by side. And if you try to put them in side by side, it wouldn't work. So they actually fixed that as well. I'm glad you guys made all these changes. Listen to Papa Pain, and everything will be right. Instead of you guys just seeing all these numbers, I'm gonna have this link of this particular page in the description. And yeah, y'all, if you're a delinquent, we fucking did it. We fucking did it. This is the proper ranking for the very first week. And yeah, y'all, that's all I got. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. We packed up another op. I'm just playing, the sim team's not an op, but we packed them up. And yeah, y'all, that's all I got. But look, before I go, if you was feeling the vibes, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. It all goes.